Hello everybody, this is Mike, and we're going to play some Jade Empire. Absolutely love this game. I think that there's just a ton of really cool aspects to it. Yeah! Well, even the intro is just awesome. Of course, made by BioWare, and they make so many good games. Gosh, they're really getting up there with, as far as gaming companies. I feel like they're getting up there with Square. So, here the intro here. This is actually the dirge intro because I guess I've got an auto save around that area towards the end of the game. So the screen actually changes, I believe, depending on where like your auto save is set at. Now, okay, so I'm making basically a customized character. I really like the leaping tiger, and I like this guy's badass dragon tattoo. I mean, how cool is that? And then since his name is already fairly close to mine, we're just gonna alter it a little bit. If I can figure out how to do that. Yeah, I was totally hitting the wrong buttons. Backspace isn't that tough. There we go. So this is Furious Mike. It was so close already, so I just had to. As far as the initial styles, I really like Leaping Tiger just because of that last. I mean, it's got good range. It's the damage is not the best of all the styles, but the range is actually really nice. So the first two strikes, I think you strike with your fist, and then the final like quick attack, he does like this front flip, I think it is. And the charge attack is just huge. That covers a ton of ground, so it can be used like really far away, and you'll leap at the person you're, I guess, targeting. But yeah, as far as the other styles, you can mess around, and there's certain points and certain vendors that'll sell you the different styles. I'm actually going to just kind of let the playthrough go here while I go through the dialogue, because they're just it's really good, and I mean they had a lot of voice actors for the game, so I don't want to really ruin it. This is just the training area, and this is basically just your tutorial. It kind of just tells you how to use the attacks. There's the front flip. It covers a lot. Like I said, it covers a lot of ground, and I really like that. I like that it keeps you mobile while you're attacking, which is pretty huge. And then there you just have to block, and then Jingwu comes in and hits you with the charge attack. And then, what is it, the heal? So I'm playing actually on an Xbox 360, so the buttons are actually a little bit different. You just use the R2, I think it's R2 and L2? I think it's L2 must be healing, and then R2 is the max damage to your attacks. And actually I had this set on Grandmaster. One of these days I should really play all the way through as Grandmaster, but at a certain point the combat almost feels like it's kind of a chore, just because you do very, very little damage, and then the enemies really crank you.
Did you see? Master Lee was watching.
They hit you really hard.
He may not show it, but he clearly takes pride in watching.
So yeah, like I said, so I'm gonna let this the audio just play, and then I'll do the commentary basically in between.
Thank the heavens the bruises are worth it. You are gracious as always. I regret that there won't be much time for such practice now that you've almost finished your training. Master Lee told me to pass on that you should speak to him when you have the chance. He said you could take your time, so you need not rush. Master Lee just went into his house. It's just over there, as always. You have some time to wander the school and talk with other students. Smiling Mountain likely has some of the younger students available if you want to spar. I shall leave you to it. Take care, my friend.
So, all right, this is the chapter 1 intro. It gives you a little bit of information on what's going on here. It's this is one of those games I feel like it's got just a ton of replay value just because of the different options that you can take. There's a ton. There's a ton actually. One of the things you can do, you can make saves in different areas to then thus make different changes. And make different choices as you go. But yeah, like I said, I feel like that adds a lot of replayability to it.
Our most senior student has a spare moment to spend with me? An honor. No, wait, I shouldn't be like that. Master Li always reminds me that jealousy is a low path and not worthy of one of his students. I understand your training is almost complete. I wonder who will replace you as our example. It certainly won't be me. I can't even imagine Master Li saying, "You must strive to be like Lin in all things," to the others. Just the opposite, more likely. That's easy enough for you to say. You're already the best in the school. The rest of us just stare at your back. Of course, there could be worse views. Maybe I should spend more time training and less time worrying about where I stand in the school. How else will I be good enough to take you down one of these days? Besides, there might be bigger things to worry about. I find myself intrigued by the ghost tales that everyone's mentioning. You think I will talk about them behind their backs? I will, but I don't want people to think of me as the local gossip, even if I am just that. Of note? There's only one student of note, and that would be you. Everyone else, even Dawnstar, is just a background for you and your supposed destiny. Not that you don't deserve the attention. I'd be flirting with you non-stop if you weren't so focused on whatever it is Master Li has in store for you. All of us get a little envious of that. Even Gao gets pushed aside, and he doesn't like being anything less than the center of attention. You know him as well as I do. A rich man's son. He's attractive, I suppose, but arrogance follows him like a cloud of locusts. I hear his father is the same way. Gao the Greater and Gao the Lesser. Not a family I would want to be a part of. Why do you need to ask me about Dawnstar? You know her better than anyone as far as I'm concerned. You two practically grew up together. Frankly, I think she might have a little crush on you too. Notice how she's been less willing to train with you recently? Maybe that's why you two get along so well. Maybe her sense for ghosts and the like meshes well with the great destiny Master Li sees for you. I'm sorry. I shouldn't be like that. Dawnstar is a fine person. She just sees things that I can't. I know there are ghosts and spirits, but why should she be able to sense them when I can't? What makes her special? While Master Li tries to never let it show, he obviously holds a special place in his heart for you two. I suppose that's hard to deal with, even if I have been here far less time than you two. You know what is said. Master Li believes you're special, but won't say why. It makes you interesting. Some of the others don't find it as intriguing as I do. Some even consider it an attack on their worth. Gao, obviously. You know he doesn't like you, he never has. And when Master Li tells him to model himself after you, that just makes it worse. If you wish, what do you want to ask about? Master Li took me in when no one else would. He is a firm master, but a kind man deep inside. I imagine that he walked. If you want anything more than that, you'll have to ask someone who was here at the time. That was 20 years ago. I really don't know or care. It may as well have been Sagacious Tien, the first emperor. That was before I was born. than what Dawnstar senses, all I have is stories, but they're becoming more and more common. Tales of people being haunted by loved ones, and mad ghosts attacking people on the roads, or even in their homes. And Master Li accepts Dawnstar's ability to see and sense things others can't. If he believes her, then how could I believe otherwise? They're exactly what you'd expect. The souls of humans who have died. According to all the legends, when you die, your soul travels to the underworld. Once there, your soul is judged and placed upon the wheel of life, so that it can return to this world in a new life. A soul that doesn't return to the wheel of life becomes a ghost. According to the stories, ghosts are usually people whose souls are trapped in this world, either by circumstance or because they won't let go of their old lives. The thing is, those circumstances are very rare, and you never heard about ghosts 10 years ago. Now everyone's talking about them. It's like something has happened, and people aren't leaving this world like they should be. Either that or it's mass hysteria, but I can't believe that explanation. From what I understand, Dawnstar is very sensitive to magic and to the spirits we call ghosts. She sees things that others can't. Sometimes she knows things that she shouldn't. I really can't say if it's intuition or something else. They're exactly what you'd expect. The souls of humans who have died. According to all the legends, when you die, your soul travels to the underworld. Once there, your soul is judged and placed upon the wheel of life. A soul that doesn't return to the wheel of life becomes a ghost. That was my first question when I started hearing these rumors. Apparently they can look just like us, though possibly pale and faded. Some ghosts have been around a long time, and apparently they begin to change. They grow distant from their bodies and become more monsters than people. The scary thing is that a lot of the stories I've been hearing are about these old ghosts, the ones that look like monsters. It just doesn't make sense. If you wish, what... I'm sure you've figured out most of my little quirks by now. I've been here a few years. I wasn't the delicate flower my family had hoped for. They believed school would calm my spirit. But Master Li has shown me how to focus myself. I have learned many skills while here, and not many of them require that I be delicate. When I am done, I haven't really thought about it. I won't go home. There's no place for me there. If I can stomach the books, I could become a scholar. Perhaps I'll go to the Imperial City. I should see it at least once in my life. I wasn't the If you wish. Of course. I have to keep practicing if I'm going to be able to best you one day, aren't I? Excellent. Let's see if we can use Smiling Mountain's sparring ground. Once we're done, I'll wander back here if you need me again.
All right, so this is Lynn, and obviously we're gonna challenge her here to a little training, which is good for a little bit of experience. I think that's generally the case with all of the students here, and this is a game that's got a ton of there's just a ton of dialogue in it. If that's not the way you want to go about it, if you just want to skip through that, then go right ahead. But just like any RPG, that's going to take away a lot of what you get out of the game. I feel, you can treat it as kind of like hack and slash style, I guess, if you want. But again, I feel like you're going to get a lot more out of it if you go through the dialogue and just talk to the NPCs, and that I feel like when you talk to the students too, that it really, it develops them more. If you don't talk to the students at all and you just kind of progress through the story, then the events that unfold here, I don't know if you quite get the same effect, because they tell you where they came from, they tell you kind of where they sit in the school, and then their feelings on some of the other people. I should say Lynn does. But yeah, I mean, like I said, if you skip all that stuff, then you're really gonna lose a lot of it. So definitely talk
Leaving
to.
so soon?
I would suggest
Oh, well.
talking
Back to my
as
training.
many people as you can, and go
Master
through
Lee keeps talking about
all the
restless
different
dead,
information.
but there's nothing like that
and,
around
on
here.
top of just getting to know the students and whatnot better, you also get a lot more backstory, and you'll get a lot more information about the world and kind of like past events that have happened here.
It is an honor to be approached by the school's most senior student. My mother had high hopes for the school when she sent me here from the capital. Sometimes I wonder if I'm ready to train with others of such skill. Even in the robes of a junior student, I feel a long way from my home in the Imperial City. You're right. Master Lee would not have accepted me if he did not see potential. He measures all people carefully. I will just have to work twice as hard to catch up to your level of skill. Even then, it will take a long time to be your match. How long have you studied with Master Lee? You and Dawnstar have both had a lifetime of training under Master Lee. He is stern with you, but you sure can see that he's proud as well. I'm sorry. I shouldn't pester you with my questions. Is there something you need? I don't know anyone else who displays the skill you do. Well, perhaps Gao, but he lacks discipline. That is why he still wears the robes of a junior student, despite his ability. Dawnstar would be next, with few able to match her delicate moves. Beyond that, the only other person I know well is Smiling Mountain, the sparring master. I know she is sensitive to things the rest of us can't see. Sometimes I feel sorry for her. It obviously makes her feel different, and that's not right. I think she was given a gift. Unlike responsibility, it may not always be pleasant, but it's something she should be proud of. It shouldn't isolate her. I have seen his kind in the city. He thinks his family's wealth is a substitute for nobility and is angered when others still see him for what he is, a crass and spoiled bully. As I said, I sometimes feel sorry for her. She's such a caring person that she shouldn't have to feel different from others. I think she was given a gift. Well, he doesn't come close to Master Lee's skill, but Smiling Mountain is good for the younger students. He pairs novices with more advanced students so we can learn. I have heard about and seen your skill, but I haven't been here long enough to know much more. Most of the students seem to appreciate your abilities. I hate to put words in other people's mouths, but it's obvious that Gao does not favor you. Master Lee has been a mediator of sorts, but Gao responds poorly to authority. I'll answer what I... He is one man and guides his students well. My last school had 2 masters who feuded all the time. It made learning very difficult. At the Black Leopard School, I learned the bare basics of a style under First Brother Kai, but not enough to say I'd mastered anything more than a few core techniques. I'd demonstrate, but I don't think I even could. Master Lee's teachings have been so much more effective that I have forgotten most of what I learned in the capital. He is greatly skilled and tutors his students intently. You especially. My school in the city was mired in politics, not an environment that promotes diligent study. I'll answer what I can. It's funny, but I still want to look over my shoulder. I have to remember that we are a long way from the ears of the Lotus Assassins. They're the Emperor's personal guardians. In the Imperial City, they watch everyone and everything, looking for those who would question the course of the Empire. The Lotus Assassins visit people who ask a lot of questions. The Emperor hasn't been seen much recently. His advisors run things. They're not gentle. There's already enough darkness without making up stories about shadows, in my opinion. And try Lynn. She seems very interested in the ghosts. They're the Emperor's personal guardians in the Imperial City. I'm no map maker, but I know the basics of the way the Empire is laid out. What do you want to know? It was a beautiful place to grow up. The brightest minds, the most noble houses, all the greatest warriors gather there. It's truly the most vibrant place in the world. I'm glad to be here, don't get me wrong. Two Rivers, though, is very peaceful. I'm used to a more hectic pace, I think. It's taking me some time to adjust. Two Rivers is quiet, subdued. This province has a lot of rich agricultural land. Actually, fields cover pretty much everything south of the Great Southern Forest. They consider farmers uneducated rustics, though they'd use less polite terms. They'd change their tune if they could see such a skilled tutor as Master Li out here. It was a beautiful place to grow up. The Empire is divided into 4 massive provinces. This area, largely agricultural, is the Golden Delta. To the north lies the Seat of Heaven, which holds the Imperial City. In the prosperous east, you can find port cities like the Phoenix Gate. To the west lie the hills of the 6 Holy Scrolls. I know little about those 2 provinces, though. I'll answer what I can. I'm honored that you should ask. What do you want to know? The school I attended in the Imperial City was becoming mired in politics, so my mother sent me out to the country instead. Politics is dangerous, she always said. Oh, I don't know. It just seems like the city is changing. Strange people, strange machines. These are interesting times. I think she just wanted to know that I'd be safe. Well, that won't be for a long time, but I'll probably return to the Imperial City. Perhaps I'll join the Imperial Guard. It's hard to think that far ahead. The school I attended in the Imperial City. Goodbye.
All right, so that was Student Wen. He's got a lot of information about the Imperial City. You know, that's where he came from. He actually touches a little bit about the Black Leopard School, which we will eventually get to quite a bit later. These little book stands are kind of, scattered throughout the game. They're really cool. Again, they just give a little bit of added information, about the world itself without necessarily, having to talk to people and go through the kind of dialogue. So those are definitely worth checking out.
You're the best among us,
A lot of times they will have
So
like
it makes everyone train a
hidden
little
book sets,
harder
and they'll
when
give
you're
you
around.
techniques,
The
which will
tricky
actually
part is
give you
making
some
sure we're
stats too.
emulating,
So
not
again,
hoping to
very
take you down a bit.
good
You should
to
think
check up on
carefully
those and make
before
sure that
bruising the tender egos around
you're
here.
interacting with all those scrolls.
Oh, did I tell you to see Master Li when you have a chance? I'm not taking the blame if you forget.
I thought Master Li would have your attention for the rest of the day. It is good to see you. I know you haven't had much time for simple sparring. It is too bad. Your fellow students benefit from your experience. A strong opponent is the best trainer. I am charged with giving whatever instruction I can, but my insights deal more with the philosophy of combat than the skills themselves. Master Li is very strict about what is taught here, because martial skill is a pathway to great power, and that holds certain risks. It is not just good over evil. Few things in life are that simple. The common way to say it is, do you follow the way of the open palm or the closed fist? A term for the high path, or perhaps the way of restraint and harmony. Many aspire to it, but few achieve it. It is a path of resisting tyranny. Of course, the source of that tyranny varies. It is just as dangerous coming from without as within. Tyranny from external sources is easy to find and fight. Defending those who cannot defend themselves is a reasonable example. But when your abilities are so much greater than those around you, there is the temptation to set everything right by might alone. That is tyranny from within. True, but that can become a convenient excuse. Eventually you may decide that even direct violence is too inefficient for someone of your strength. It is a small leap from there to enforcing your will so that the crime never takes place. Suddenly you are the oppressor, when all you wanted to do was make things right. This way of the open palm is not without its hidden dangers, despite the best of intentions. It is the low path, the way of aggression and discord. A misunderstood path often misused by those who wish to justify a thuggish nature. It is not as simple as crushing your enemies or as mindless as terrorizing the weak. It is a mindset born of impatience, of imposing your will. An evil man might ignore a plea for help because he does not care, but that shows a disconnection with the world. That is not part of the way. A man on the low path might also ignore that plea, but he would do so because that person should demonstrate they are fit to survive on their own. The difference is in the details. That same man might help if the odds are unreasonable. He might also do it to incur favor. There is thought in his actions. He is not a mindless killer, but he may let strength decide what course is best. That is why it is a dangerous path. It can so easily be misinterpreted. You are the sum of your actions. The harmony or discord that you sow will weigh on your shoulders as surely as any physical yoke. But there can be advantages. Certain forms of attack inherently lean toward one extreme or the other. They have a rhythm that resonates within you. You may find that some attacks perform better if you are more intent on causing discord. How you use this is for you to discover and decide. I am charged with giving whatever instruction I can, but my insights deal more with the philosophy of combat than the skills themselves. Who are you interested in? Master Li is a private man, and I will not presume to speak for him. His interest in you surpasses the care of any master I have known. He must see great potential in you. I'd rather not. He is impatiently traveling the low path, and I long ago abandoned him to it. He is reckless, and he neither seeks nor wants my guidance. As young as he is, Gao has impressive skill. Master Li has tried to restrain him, but I know how far he has gone. He wields powerful energies, but has the temper of a child. Master Li has taught the base of such techniques to you and others. Mastering Qi is important for any student here, but he also demands control. Gao's father most likely tutored him. By all that I have heard, both are impatient and spoiled. They can be provoked into explosive outbursts. Master Li is a private. Only what she lets me know. A very private woman, despite spending so long in the school. You probably know her as well as anyone does. She has great skill, but a reluctance to use it. If she were to let go, she could be very powerful. Perhaps that is what she fears. If you wish, but only introspection reveals true insight. I used to call the trading center of Phoenix Gate my home, but I am settled here. I have nothing to go back to. It is not important. Suffice to say that I prefer this little village to the temptations of a greater city.
Alright, so here I'm actually going to, unfortunately, interrupt Smiling Mountain here. He's kind of like your first, I would say, like quasi-merchant. You can buy a couple of techniques from him, and, techniques will be learned, I guess, basically throughout the game from this point on. Some of them will be acquired, just from like chess. Some of them, I think I could say most of them come from like a vendor, or like a merchant like him. And then some of them are actually in hidden book sets, and then I think there's like a mini game that you can buy or get some from too. But yeah, so anyways, he's your first kind of quasi merchant, teaches the techniques. Later on he'll get a little bit some more inventory, but for the most part I would say that nothing else is worth buying. It's mostly just his techniques that are worth it. But yeah, so anyways, that's kind of we're gonna wrap this video up actually. I just want to say that this is kind of the way that these are gonna play out. For the most part anyway, whenever there's an NPC speaking, I'm going to try to not be speaking. And I will just kind of toss in the commentary, in between, I guess, interactions. Again, towards or later on in the game, the actual NPCs speaking and interaction becomes a bit less frequent, so you'll get a little more of me. So, again, I hope you like this style. If not, I guess sorry. It won't be for you then. But if you like the video, keep tuning in, and thanks for watching.